Well, the approach of UTMC has always been to focus on the exchange of data between applications in common and standardized formats, rather than the functionality of the applications themselves. This leaves suppliers free to innovate with their products and facilitates a dynamic marketplace, whilst also simplifying the acquisition, integration, operation and maintenance of tools by local highway authorities and others.
Well, the EV charging infrastructure working group aims to help local authorities develop an unbiased distribution of EV charging infrastructure across UK. Basically looking at making sure that accessibility, affordability and sustainability is achieved while promoting collaboration between private sector, public sector and communities.
Our group within TTF brings all of the connected vehicle technologies and tries to make it understandable for local authority people and actually show them what it could be like for people on their roads, in their areas, for their problems.
Masterminds is a knowledge sharing group about mobility as a service. It's for public sector bodies who have multimodal integration goals. We focus mostly on the digital aspects of the customer journey around journey planning, ticketing and retail, which complements wider transport innovations in micro-mobility, car sharing, demand-responsive transport and active travel.
And we're looking at trying to make the process of parking as seamless as possible for the driver, while increasing the use of opportunities around technology to increase opportunities for making the road network more dynamic in terms of dynamic pricing, emissions-based pricing and flexible traffic management orders, and digitalising all of that process and all the other technology that can help transform the road space.
Our group aim is to enable knowledge and information sharing across local authorities and the supply chain.
UTMC has been around for a very long time, since the late 1990s. So what have we done so far? Well, we've reviewed the majority of existing and historical UTMC documentation and developed a detailed plan to establish what is still good, what needs updating and what can be retired. And also spent a fair bit of time linking in with other TTF activities to ensure that the framework we develop can underpin tomorrow's integrated ITS. This involves broadening the scope of UTMC from a simple traffic management systems into the world of public information, open data, connected and automated mobility, and better integration with public transport and emergency services.
So what we've done so far is we support the National Parking Platform, which is a platform to have multi-vendors within local authorities and private parking, so the consumer, the driver, can choose where they want to park. We have supported the APDS, the Alliance for Parking Data Standards, which underpins then a lot of the work that goes into the National Persistent Evaders database, and we look to cross-pollinate smarter parking with the other groups so that we get actually a much more joined up system.
We are new, relatively new. Last year in November's conference, we published a sort of bite-sized startup guide for local authorities titled Startup Guide for Rollout of EV Charging Infrastructure for Local Authorities. We have had face-to-face events with the wider working group. We are also looking to develop 4 topics of templates with the view to possibly publish the first template in this year's November conference, and looking at the other 2 templates to be published next year.
We want to create a community of technical experts and practitioners who are keen to collaborate on best practice and also feedback to the DFT on areas relating to transport data strategy. We want to identify and present use cases and approaches, highlighting the successes, challenges of a data-driven transport initiatives to encourage learning and innovation.
So we've had 3 or 4 demonstrations. One almost a year ago was at the UTAC Proving Ground, where Paul Darlow of Portsmouth came along and saw some ideas. And then we've now had a demonstration last summer at Newark, where Paul Darlow showed that he'd taken those ideas and put them into practice. So I think what we can show is a sausage machine of events where we demonstrate stuff, people go away, do stuff, and then bring it back to show it to other local authorities.
So the group's been running for over 2 years, and we're a regular meetup of like-minded practitioners in MAS who are actively involved in MAS projects. We have 10 local authorities who are regularly attending the group, and it's very much about sharing the lessons learned and inspiring each other about potential opportunities for MARS. The meetup is very much Chatham House rules, where we share the good, the bad, and the unexpected.
So look to support the rollout of National Parking Platform to more local authorities, particularly after it being part of the 30 steps for driver behaviour, and how can we support local authorities to make sure they've got the information they need to do that. Move further forward with the National Persistent Evaders database to see how we can deliver that to more local authorities to help them save money and to improve drivers' standards. And then we're looking at any other opportunities from a technological standpoint that can help enhance the driver and parker experience within the highway.
Well, mainly to implement the plan, everything that we've mapped out so far into a series of work packages. We're of course dependent on the continued participation of a broad range of stakeholders from both highways authorities and the systems industry, as well as support from the Department for Transport.
We've started making some plans for 2024 and are looking at hosting a Transport Data Day in February to cover topics such as the resource pack that was published alongside the Transport Data Strategy, NatTan, and the Find Transport Data website. If you want to get involved, then you can propose other areas that you wish to cover.
This year we are looking to publish a procurement template. Next year we will look to publish site selection and delivery and consultation template.
As well as the autumn update, we're going to be arranging another event like we had at the Innovation Ground last year, where we're going to have some more detailed use cases for local authorities, perhaps in stitching services together. So we've just been talking with various people about the idea of taking data from our eCall demo that many people will have seen last year, and then flying drones to where the vehicle has had a collision, stuff like that. We'll also have a number of technical webinars for the people who like to exchange all the technical detail about how they do things.
So in 2024, we'd like to expand the group to include more open participation for those who are just starting out on their MARS journey, just interested to learn a little bit more about it, such as consultants, technology suppliers, and academics. But also we've started scoping a formal piece of work to capture some of the knowledge that's been learned on these early MARS schemes under the Department for Transport's Future Transport Zone programme. There's some schemes that have already gone live, and there are some that are in the detailed delivery stage. And we want to bring all of that knowledge together to capture it for when someone in 2025, 26 is starting on their MARS journey, that they can look back and see what was done.
Who do we want to get involved? Local authorities, private operators, software companies, basically anyone who is interested or has a connection with anything to do with parking and technology and the highway and how all of those interlink. So things around Blue Badge Forward and EV charging, and how we build a community that actually is user-friendly and interacts with all the drivers in the way we want them, the way we would like it to.
Well, basically local authorities and the ITS industry suppliers. We already have a well-established UTMC community that consists of public and private sector members who, through the UTMC Development Group, which we're currently reforming, will guide and shape UTMC development. We also intend to work closely with TTF working groups and with industry organisations such as ARTSM, Topaz and Arctic.
People in local authorities who think, oh, connected vehicles, that's not for me. I've still got problems with traffic signals, with potholes, with information about road closures, that sort of stuff. They think it's all a bit difficult because they see pictures of Teslas and connected cars rather than cyclists and drivers and people who need to, for example, pay for parking.
So presently with the MARS to Minds practitioners group, it's very much anyone from a local authority or a public sector transport operator who are in the middle of designing or delivering a MARS vision. Welcome to come along and share and find out more, but very much focused on public sector people.
I think anybody or any organizations who are working in this space, in this landscape, that includes technology developers, charge point operators, and of course the local authorities. So it is important that they are all, it's a collaboration, so anybody.
We're keen to have a balance of public and private organisations involved as part of the group. We would also like a good mixture of public authorities that are at different stages in the development of how they're using data within their organisations.
How's it going to change the world? No one sets out to park. Parking is a byproduct of what we do. We're trying to make that simpler so it doesn't become a thing that people talk about as a negative, rather than something that happens instantaneously and people are impressed with the link up with how everywhere else follows through and it makes sense.
So data is critical to all aspects of decision making related to transport. We're all learning how to use the vast amount of data that's now available to us. We can use that data to gain insights that will then hopefully help us make better decisions and change the world of transport for the better.
Okay, so it's not connected and autonomous vehicles as one thing, like Starsky and Hutch or Gilbert and Sullivan. It's connected, and in my mind, big pause automated vehicles. We've got connected vehicles now. Anyone who has a phone or a device in their vehicle is connected, so pretty much every vehicle on the road. And I use the word vehicle rather than car because we've got people like C-Sense who make detectors for bikes. You get detector data from apps like Strava, and you get fleet management data, all of which is allowing you to get a better picture of what's going on the network for all road users. Similarly, there's a number of services where we can now beef up what SatNav does in terms of navigating you, for example, to parking spaces, warning you of problems, telling you you've gone into a ULEZ zone, allowing you to pay for that ULEZ zone. So it's bringing a whole load of changes together in an integrated, seamless service.
Well, now UTMC is a TTF working group where the role and scope of UTMC will be shaped to meet new opportunities, whilst also assisting local highway authorities in maintaining their legacy systems until such time as they reach the end of their operational lifespan. This enables us to sustain the effectiveness of today's UTMC implementations in a tool set designed to meet the challenges of today's world.
With our dedication focused on facilitating the growth and accessibility of EV charging infrastructure, I think this group can play quite a pivotal role in transforming the world's transport by, for example, say accelerating the shift to adoption of EVs, looking at improving air quality, looking at economic benefits as well through creating job creations locally. By championing smart charging infrastructure, the group can help integrate EVs into the broader smart city ecosystem, paving the way for advanced transportation solutions like vehicle-to-grid technologies.
Mobility as a service is a topic that's been talked about for quite a few years now. In the UK, it's been on a tough stage on the hype cycle from the peak of inflated expectations in 2020, 2021. Many of us have now been through the challenges of getting those early schemes off the ground. And so we're starting to come through that slope of enlightenment, really understanding what it is to have MaaS in the UK. And Masterminds helps us share lessons to give each other the best chance of success at delivering our schemes to drive that significant modal shift onto sustainable transport modes. And we help others in a similar position to achieve those common goals.